Hey there, CJ Math students, and welcome to Homework 4.10, Simplifying Algebraic Expressions by Using the Distributive Property. It is a practice homework, and you do not need calculators. So, the big thing you're going to need to remember is your multiplication rules. So, DSN, different signs negative, and SSP, same signs positive. So, for instance, in number 1, we have a negative 8 times a positive 8, that's a negative 64, and then a negative 8 times a positive 7, that's a negative 56. I don't freak out if I don't see this exact expression in my answer, because I should understand that, oh, I should probably do plus and negative, and now it looks exactly like my expression. Subtracting a positive is the same thing as adding a negative. So let's do number 3 together. I have a negative 9 times a positive 3, that's a negative 27n, plus a negative 9 times a negative 5, that's a positive 45. So I had both DSN here on my first one and an SSP on my second term. So negative 27 n plus 45 is D is my answer. I would pause right now and try and do number 4 if I were you. 5 and 6 I did for you. I showed the exact work. If you're not writing SSP or DSN next to these problems, that's not fully showing work. All right, let's do number 7 together. So first I'm going to distribute, and I only distribute to the terms inside the parentheses. So I have negative 5 times a 7, that's DSN, right? That's negative 35. And then a negative 5 times a positive 6, again, DSN, so that's plus negative 30x. Again, it's negative because there's only one negative. And then I just drop down my plus 5x. Now I need to find like terms, which are negative 30x and 5x. Negative 35 is not a like term because it does not have a variable. So I have negative 35 plus a negative 30x plus 5x. That's a DSSM. Notice how I'm labeling the problem. Yes, you should label the problem as well. That is negative 25x. Different signs subtract. Keep the sign that we have more of. 30 minus 5 is 25. We have more negatives. So again, you might freak out because you're like, oh, I don't see it in my answer choices. Plus a negative, plus a negative, plus a negative, plus a negative. Ah, yes I do. Right there, A. I would pause and try and do number 8 if I were you. Look at number 9 real quick. I already did it. It's 6 times 3 is 18n. 6 times 8 is 48. This was obviously SSP. Sorry, I forgot to write that. And then you just drop down your negative 8. And the like terms actually happen to be the constants. Negative 8 plus 48. That's a different sign, subtract more. So 48 minus 8 is 40. There are more positives. Plus 18n. That's 40 plus 18n is my answer. If I were you, I'd try and do number 10. All right. And the last one I'm going to do with you guys on this one is going to be number 11. So see this minus sign? That means I have to do plus and negative. And that means I'm distributing not a 5, but a negative 5. So I can drop down my 7n, and I can say plus a negative 5 times 8 is negative 40, and then a negative 5 times 5n is plus negative 25n, because this was different signs negative. Okay. Now, my like terms are obviously 7n and negative 25n, that's DSSM, different signs subtract more. So 25 minus 7 is 18, and it's a negative 18. So negative 18n plus negative 40, and B is my answer choice right there. And so when you're doing 12, when you're doing 14, remember that you're not distributing a 3, you're distributing a negative 3. A negative 3. You finish off that one as well as 14. We're distributing a negative. Write this down, please. Watch your signs. You actively have to think about it. If you just mindlessly do the problem, you're totally going to get it wrong. All right, and then lastly, we're going to use this model right here to try and answer these last problems. So this first one I did, it says, which of the following expressions is equal to the length of AC? So you want from A all the way to C. That means you have to take this chunk and add it to this chunk, right? So 3x plus 3 plus 2x plus 2, and that's all I did, right? I said 3x plus 3 plus 2x plus 2, combine like terms, boom, I got my answer. So now it says, which of the following represents the combined lengths of AC, that top part, and FD. But wait a second, FD is not labeled. Sure it is. It's the same thing as the top. So FE is going to be the same thing as AB. So that's 3x plus 3. And ED is going to be the same thing as BC, which is 2x plus 2. So now if they want the combined lengths that means they want you to add how long this was up top plus how long that was on bottom. So the entire expression would be something like this: 3x plus 3 plus 2x plus 2. And then I can write 3x plus 3, 3x plus, or I could just multiply the whole thing by 2, since there are 2 exact of them. See, the bottom's going to be the exact same thing, right? I could combine some like terms on the inside, which would become 2 parentheses 5x plus 5, right? These are all like terms. And now I could just use the distributive property, right? So I could say 2 times 5, that's 10x, and 2 times 5, that's 10. So boom, right there. And also, if you take a look back at number 1, if we know that AC is going to be 5x plus 5, the bottom's also going to be 5x plus 5. And you add those two together, you also get 10x plus 10. So a whole bunch of different ways to do it. Number 3 and 4 are very similar, but they ask for different triangles. So for number 3, it asks for B, C, D, E. So B to C to D to E. Now you have to extend this number 12. See how AF is 12? That means that BE is also going to be 12. That means that CD is also going to be 12. So if I'm asking for the rectangle of BCDE, this rectangle, then that means I have to add up these numbers to get that perimeter. So I want to do 2 times, or I could actually do this the long way. Let's do it the long way. So 2x plus 2 plus 12 plus 2x plus 2 plus 12, right? I'm adding all those numbers, perimeter, add up the numbers around the side. And then I just go to work and I find all the common like terms, right? So the 2x and the 2x, that's 4x. And then the 2 and 12, that's 14. And 2 and 12, that's another 14. So plus 28, right? So there's my answer, B. There's an easier way to do this. Instead of writing it all long, you could say, since I have 2x plus 2's, I could say 2 times 2x plus 2 plus 2 times, how many 12's do I have? I have 2 12's, right? And you're going to actually get the same exact answer if you use the distributive property and work it out that way. You'll still get 4x plus 28. Right? So number 4 is exactly like number 3, except this time what they want you to do is they want you to do the perimeter of A to B to E to F, right? So they want you to do that rectangle right there. So you have some different numbers to work with there. So this is still 12, right? Lastly, it says what is equal to, I'll let you do number 5. Let's do number 6 because it changes up slightly. It says what is the area of the rectangle ABEF. So A to B to E to F. In area, you actually multiply. You're going to multiply the length, which is 12. The length, which is 3x plus 3, times the width, which is 12. So really, you want to do 12 times 3x plus 12. And look at this. It's distributive property, right? 12 times 3x, it's 36x. 12 times 2, it's 24. Boom, you're done. So, sorry, was it 2? My fault. Oh, I messed up. It was 3. Notice how I was like, I don't see a 24. I must have messed up. I went back and made sure I got the right number. So 12 times 3, 36. So D is your answer. All right, that's it. Call me if you have questions.